Is there a crossroads battle developing between the powerful international education lobby and the United States government over the U.S. Patriot Act regarding security regulations and covering foreign student visas? Congressional hearings have begun to hear testimony on this issue, and it would appear that law enforcement and education administrators have begun the debate. The number of foreign students enrolled in colleges and universities in the United States in the year 2001 was 547,867, at a time when foreign students comprised 35% of all graduate students in science and engineering in the United States. According to public research conducted by Florida International University, there were 232 million foreigners who entered the United States in the year 2001. Additionally, the FIU report found that there were 319,518 F visas issued that year, and there were approximately 300,000 aliens who had outstanding deportation orders against them. Following the 9/11 attack on the World Trade Twin Towers, the U.S. Congress passed the Homeland Security Act, which mandated that by the year 2003, implementation of a nationwide registration tracking program for international visitors. It was called SEVIS, Student and Exchange Visitor Information System. The SEVIS system was finally up and running by August 2004. And the SEVIS system has certified 8,737 schools and exchange visitor programs representing more than 9,500 campuses participating in the program. There are now 770,000 students and exchange visitors on F1 and M1 and J1 visa categories. The recent U.S. indictments of 3 men who were alleged to be plotting terrorist attacks against major financial institutions in New York and New Jersey has brought the issue of foreign student visas once again to the forefront. One of the 3 men indicted, according to the New York Times, was alleged to have been in the U.S. on an international student visa to attend a New York college, but they reported that he never enrolled and never attended any classes. Here now is a little background on the foreign student visa policy. A few weeks after 9/11, Full Disclosure videotaped an interview with Jim White, legal counselor with the UCLA International Student Services. And we questioned him about the requirements for colleges and universities to check on the backgrounds and to monitor students in order to assure that people coming into our country are supposedly as students are actually going to school and studying. Here's what he had to say. Do you have a responsibility there?
Well, there used to be a responsibility like that placed on the schools, but in 1996, when they changed the laws, it was missing. That provision whereby immigration would be automatically notified of the whereabouts of a student, there was nothing. But it's, it's one of the loopholes, I believe, that even if a student gets your I-20 from a particular school and enters the U.S. and doesn't attend your school, there is no reporting requirement to the INS whatsoever. And we don't monitor them. We're not law enforcement on the campus. We don't have that responsibility, nor do we have the budget or the personnel to get involved in that. That should take place elsewhere with the government.
A few weeks after 9/11, Full Disclosure asked constitutional attorney Richard Knickerbocker to identify exactly who was responsible for monitoring foreign students while they're here in the United States.
Well, the truth is that the Immigration and Naturalization Service hasn't done anything. They haven't done what they should do to protect the citizens of this country, and they haven't allowed anyone else to do so.
While researching this topic, Full Disclosure discovered that the higher education lobby is working hard to weaken the few remaining requirements and monitoring efforts. When asked why, Mr. White offered this response.
There's a lot of people in our field who feels that the less government intervention or the less we're responsible for reporting to the government, then the better off we are. But there are people who feel that way. Colleagues in the international education field feels that way.
Full Disclosure discovered that the education lobby that Mr. White spoke of is extremely well organized nationwide, consisting of all major publicly supported and privately funded university systems. They have posted their strategic plans on websites which specifically state their goal is to influence and shape United States policies and regulations on international student visas and worker policies. They are currently lobbying Congress to relax the U.S. Patriot Act in order to make it easier for international students and workers to enroll at the U.S. colleges and universities.
Well, it's a consortium of interest. Like I said, our national group, and then there are other education groups that take on issues on all levels, including higher education. And then there's specific regional and geographical based interests that have a stake in one thing over another. I think every state that has colleges and universities often asks their legislators to get involved in lobbying one way or the other for, higher education issues.
Full Disclosure interviewed Georgie Ann Geyer, who as a syndicated columnist for many years has covered international affairs. We asked her about the education lobby. The University of California had actually implemented a program to give undocumented students the same status as if they were legal residents of the United States. Do you think that an institution like the university has an agenda themselves?
It surely looks like it has the general leftist, multiculturalist agenda that almost all the universities do today. I mean, it's no secret. You and I are not talking about something that these folks deny. Mm-hmm. I mean, most of academia today say they're multiculturalists, that they're radicals, that they're Marxists even.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Knickerbocker, a constitutional attorney and immigration attorney, was not optimistic. He fears the difficulty in changing government policy is insurmountable.
Whenever a state tries to legislate, they are always met with a constitutional challenge that the Immigration and Naturalization Act has basically preempted the field and they can do nothing. The problem is the state can do nothing, the federal government does nothing for one reason or another, and the safety and health and rights of American citizens are jeopardized.
Okay. We want to know what you think. Should we make it easier for foreign students to enroll in the universities and to find work here, as the powerful education lobby seems to suggest? After all, we have 220,000 more foreign students here on visa since 9/11. Should we retain the U.S. Patriot Act as it is in order to maintain security regulations in place, or should we make them weaker? If we do maintain it, does that mean that public and private colleges would lose their lucrative foreign tuition income? Please visit our Full Disclosure desktop video page to view our streaming interviews on this subject. Or you can call us at 1-800-867-7777 or leave us a message on our feedback form on our website. Thank you.